Tell Jibriel to delete this quote camera nail.
Oh my god, bro. Cam.
We are here with my good friend, Mr. JIbrielXD.
Yes.
My friend and teammate who got what place did you get?
I got 12th copium, not top 8 copium, top 16 copium, but we take those.
We do take those.
I was the only person in day 2 with the Drytrons. I was X1 going into the last round, literal top 8 budget bubble. It wasn't even like I was X2 and just like playing for prizing. I was literally in contention for top 8 until the last round of the tournament, and I lost to the eventual winner of the tournament. So shout out to him. He actually won the tournament, so I feel a little better because it was either he was gonna win that tournament or I was gonna win that tournament.
Oh, I see.
Because yeah, that's basically how my weekend was going. I was clapping people left and right. So we're only playing 3 ritual monsters in our deck, which pretty much everyone disagrees with this. Apparently you're supposed to play bad cards like Idaten and Fool, but in reality you do not need any of those cards to perform your combo of 4 to 6 negates with your ultimateness. All you really need is Ben 10 and ultimateness. Those are the only ritual monsters that you have to play in your deck. Then you just play another ritual monster so that your alpha has something to grab on turn 3. And what better to play than a 4000 beat stick that after it's summoned properly, you can just keep on reviving with an engine piece. That is Gamma. So I just thought that was like the best one. Because like some cool plays that you can do is like on turn 3, you can ritual summon out the Draconids, then link everything away for a Boral Sword, then Gamma back the Draconids plus itself. And obviously we know that Gamma could summon the other monster in attack position, and that's just like beyond lethal. Like that's like almost like 10k damage on board through a monster. Like it's a really good card. And then it has like, it's an interruption, and it also like fully activates your Mu Beta and turns it into a negate, which a lot of people aren't using that effect because you can't, because you're not playing the card. So I think it's a very powerful card, and it's basically what you end on if you get drolled, other than another card that we'll talk about later. But basically, usually when you get drolled, you end on Draconis plus Mu Beta, so you have Send 2 and a Spell and Trap Negate.
Alright, that's kind of cool. And then did you want to go over the kind of the cool interaction with how you can summon Draconids? I think a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah. So there's like a cool interaction in the deck that like, so if you have Mu Beta on the field and you use Meteorus to summon Draconids, the way that Mu Beta is worded is that you can detach an Xyz material for half of the cost, then you can send the actual Mu Beta to the graveyard for the other half of the cost, which a lot of people don't know you can do. So you can go, so like basically if you have a Mu Beta on the field with one material, you can summon Draconids, because you go detach one for half the cost and send the actual Mu Beta for the other half of the cost, and then it just comes onto the board, and it's a big beat stick, ultimate conductor, 4000 attack. It's killing everything. It's pretty powerful.
All right, so then moving on to the actual Drytrons you played.
So 3 alpha, 3 zeta, 2 gamma, and 2 delta. So usually people are playing with the new support, you're seeing more 2 gamma. That's like becoming more standard, but 2 delta is definitely not standard. Some people are not even playing delta, but because I'm not playing the bad card called Prosperity, I'm always going to be able to use delta's effect in most situations. And because I'm also playing another card at 2 that is usually played at 1, delta is resolving more than in usual builds for that +1. And I think that delta and gamma, alpha and zeta are your turn 1 Drytrons. In my, like the way that I talk about the deck, alpha and zeta are the quote-unquote turn 1 Drytrons, and then delta and gamma are the follow-up Drytrons. They allow you to keep up advantage and just snowball out of control, and gamma is like your OT.
So in the future you would continue playing the 2 gamma 2 delta? Or...
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, I might test 3 gamma, because another thing I was talking to Mike about the other day is like, just like that some people don't understand the power of Gamma. Like a lot of the combos, especially like a lot of the 2-card combos, you can start off with Gamma as your first Drytron. Like Gamma plus Zeta or Gamma plus Alpha, or even Gamma plus Delta if you have another ritual monster in hand. You can start off with Gamma as your first Drytron activation, and that's full combo. A lot of people don't understand how to do it, but if you understand how to do it, then it's just insane. You can play through a lot of interruptions by starting off in these weird ways that make it hard for your opponents to know where to hand trap you. So for the fairies, which are other than Diviner, the worst cards in your entire deck, they literally suck. They cost me my top 8. 3 copies of Diviner of the Herald. This card is broken. It's the waifu. It's my favorite card of Lightning Overdrive, pretty much, and it's the waifu of the year. She's amazing. Card's broken. It's a interruption going second. You can send Entis, and it's an advantage card going first. It's a combo bridge. It changes level. The card is really good. 2 copies of Eva. He's a little alien guy. He reminds me of Mike a little bit. You know?
What do you mean? He reminds you of me.
But he's important. He's important. You know, he bridges all of your negations and searches Orange Light, which is the worst hand trap in your deck. But sometimes you have to use it copium. Like you guys wouldn't understand how many times during the tournament, and I explained it to Mike last night, where I go first. I don't know, Alpha and Zeta. I'm just using that as an example because that's what people understand. I add my Benten, and then I have to go, and then they droll me, and then I go orange, send a Diviner from my hand, and I'm basically playing with 2 cards in my hand. Like I have the Benten in my hand with Alpha on the field and Zeta in the grave, and that's all I have. So like this card like is trash, but like you need it because like it's free, you know. So that's it for the monsters.
I love how you explain these cards.
Yeah, bro, this is literally just like how I deck build, bro. Like Orange Light is trash, but you need it. So the anti Droll and Psycho Reader cards being Call By and Insuffusion. If you draw them, that means that your combo is like going through. And if you don't draw them, then if you're good with the deck, it doesn't really matter. 3 copies of Emergency. This card is Rhoda for machines, and it can add Draconids, which is like a bonus of playing the card, where like people that aren't playing the card like have to play like shit cards like Prep in order to search their shitty rock monsters and other bad Cyber Angels.
I see you coming for me with that Prep comment.
Bro, no, I talked to multiple people. I talked to Cam, like, bro, like Prep is not the way, bro. Like you just play Emergency and search like a better card, you know. Like it searches a Drytron or it searches a ritual monster that like you can just end on. Like sometimes during the tournament, I opted not to end on Ultimateness. Like I was like, I can end on Ultimateness, but then like I don't have a fairy in hand, so I'm kind of banking on this Beatrice resolving. Nah, F that. I'm just gonna end on Draconids plus Mu Beta with like a Beatrice that could just add me Orange Eva, and I have Orange Eva, Mu Beta plus Draconids, and that's just as good in a lot of matchups. What, like an IP? 2 copies of Nova. This card is like quick launch but good, bro. Like quick launch summons a vanilla out your deck. This card summons out like broken cards out your deck. You know? Like they literally have to put a once per turn on this card and a restriction that stopped you from special summon, normal summon set cards, or else this deck would have been like tier -1. You know, like there's so many restrictions on these cards, and these cards are still the best cards in the game, in my opinion. You play 1 copy of Fafnir. This card searches Nova, which is like imagine a boot sector launch searched quick launch. Like, bro, are you serious? Then you play 2 copies of Meteorus. This card is the ritual spell. This card lets you summon out all the boys. This card is insane. It literally lets you ritual summon like twice per turn, and if you play 2, then like you're just rolling, bro.
Do you want to talk about the second one, because I know that you explained the second one to me, and I explained I explained to you my thoughts on it, but I'm gonna let you explain it. I'm gonna let you explain the card.
There's a specific combo in the deck. If you open Delta plus Gamma, you quote unquote need the second Meteorus. Mike showed a little variation where you skip a step and it ends on the same board, but like the second Meteorus allows you to put every Drytron in the grave. So I still would rather put every Drytron in the grave. And it also combos better with Delta, because it makes Delta live more of the time. And like if I hard draw Meteorus, that means I don't have to like search out Zeta if I have it. If I have like Emergency or Nova, that means I'm always going for Delta. Like if you hard open Meteorus, then Alpha Delta is like so like advantageous. Like you're like special. You get 2 Drytrons on the board. You're resolving Ben 10 to search Diviner, and you're drawing a card, and you already have the ritual spell. You're card advantage wise, you're getting like 4 cards. Like it's so broken. Like hard drawing Meteorus. Like I understand like bricking on it, but like it never really happens that you brick on both of them. Like that's like such like a low percentage chance of that happening.
Did that happen to you over the weekend at all?
I mean, it happened, but not like, oh, I hard opened both Meteoruses. It was like I opened a Meteorus, but then I also opened a Zeta. So I searched the second one, and I just ended up with like 2 Meteoruses in my hand, and I got hand trapped to death, and I just like couldn't play. You know? But it wasn't like, oh, I drew 2 Meteoruses and I bricked on them. Like I opened one, and then I just searched the second one to get it out of my deck.
So going forward, would you continue to play 2, or would you consider dropping it down to 1?
I mean, I can see like potentially dropping it down to 1, but I would still play 2 going forward. Yeah, I would still play 2.
Okay.
I like the card. I like the card. Yeah. One Foolish Burial is just an extra Drytron. It's basically emergency. Not emergency. It is basically emergency. It's emergency / Nova, but like it's worse than Nova because you don't get a free Link Reba. Now for the degen part of the deck, play 3 copies of Mystic Mind and 1 Metaverse. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of hate on all the forums, all the social media forums, talking hella shit about Mystic Mind and Metaverse and how, haha, you were just stalling people out. Shit, Drytron deck, Mystic Mind stall deck. Like, bro.
Yeah, where's your wave motion cannon, by the way?
Like, bro, like you have to be so like I hate these comment sections, bro. Like that's such a 2-head argument. Like, do you understand that like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards like have so many like versatile like obviously you can use a card in a degenerate way, that you can say that about most Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but like in a deck like this, like I'm playing a combo deck. Like you don't think that there would be a higher IQ reason than just stalling your opponent out for playing Mystic Mind in a combo deck like Drytrons? Like no. So the theory behind Mystic Mind is this deck can't really play hand traps very well, because Drytrons naturally they all like make you go neg in order to play. Every Drytron has to send another card to the graveyard in order to resolve it. And if that interacts with any type of hand traps, then like you're going neg a card on every exchange. So basically, the purpose of Mystic Mind is going into a field of a lot of Tri-Brigade Zodiac. They don't really have an out except for Imperial Order in the deck, and against other matchups, you usually, so if you get hand trapped a bunch, like hella hand trapped, or like your hand is really weak and you open Mystic Mind, the idea is that you Mystic Mind yourself, so that you're put in a situation where you only control a monster, and your opponent can't push but so far, but they only can control 1 monster also. So against a deck like Trizoom, unless they hard open a Zodiac, if they open like their Fractal or whatever, and you end on a single monster with Mystic Mind on the board, they can't go over 1 monster on the board. You know what I mean? Or else they're going to just start locking themselves out of certain things, and it just makes their plays awkward. So the theory behind Mystic Mind is you just sit on Mystic Mind until you have enough cards to make a Mu Beta, attack into something, make a Zeus, and then just clear your own Mystic Mind. And then like just kind of Mystic Mind isn't really a win condition, it's more of an equalizer. Like it like, not saying that like you can't deck someone out, like obviously it's Mystic Mind, you can deck someone out with Mystic Mind, but like that's just like an added bonus. Like the purpose of the card is to equalize the game state when you've been hand trapped to death. Like if I open like a hand that's like emergency plus like I don't know, like emergency, Ben 10, Mystic Mine, and like 2 blanks, and I go emergency, add Zeta, and then they draw me, I can go like summon Zeta, make Link Karibo, activate Mystic Mine. Like, and then I just will like slow down the tempo of the game to give me enough turns to get those resources back to try to make a bigger push. So that's missing.
So it kind of works like Kaiser Coliseum then.
Yes, it's basically Kaiser Coliseum, which is another floodgate, but it's a little more fair than Mystic Mine. Like, it's technically Kaiser Coliseum. Like, for all intents and purposes, Mystic Mine in this deck is Kaiser Coliseum. 3 copies of Droplets. Again, this deck can't really play hand traps. Droplets synergizes well with a lot of your spells that are normal spells that you're just activating. You can send them and negate stuff. This deck against Trizu, the biggest issue with Trizu is that they can summon Appaloosa. Appaloosa is like an FTK versus this deck, so you want a card that just deals with Appaloosa, and sometimes they end on Appaloosa Double Dragon Lords, and this card is better than Impermanence in those situations because you just hit multiple cards basically for free by sending away your normal spells with Drytrons. The one Metaverse is just an extra Mystic Mine. Again, that same theory, your opponent draws you. This situation, you don't open Mystic Mine, you open Metaverse. You set Metaverse. Your opponent normal summons a dude, you go chain to their effect or whatever, activate Mystic Mine. Now they're stunned for the turn.
So do you want to do the extra or the side deck next?
Oh, we can do the side deck because it's pretty quickly. Oh, okay. Pretty quick is standard. 3 draws for the mirror. Yeah, it's just for the mirror and Dragon Link. I wanted a hand trap that was good against all the combo decks that I was expecting, which is mainly the Dragon and the mirror. Oh, so I played 3 draw. 3 Lancia is for Trizu and Dinosaurs, and it has an added one because you can search it in this deck. 1 Harpies, 3 Lightning, back row removal. You side those in going second. You take out the Mystic Mines, the Metaverse, the second Meteorus, and the Fafnir. You take out those cards, and then pretty much going second in every matchup, you're putting in 3 Talents, 1 Mind Control, and 1 Natasha. Those are always going in no matter what you're playing against going second.
So a lot of people look at Talents as kind of a going first card. So do you want to talk about it as a going second card?
I mean, I said it in going first too. Like post side, I 100% sided in Talents going first, but I mainly said it. But like, it's also like a really strong going second card, to be honest, because like your deck is like a deck that like the way that this deck is beat, in contrary to Dragon Link, is hand traps and like interaction cards on during my main phase. So like Talents is pretty much always live against this deck. Then 1 Mind Control, you take Drytons to take their Appaloosas, just take problem cards. And then 1 Natasha is basically a ritual version of Mind Control. It's just an extra Mind Control. It's a cool card. For the extra deck, played 1 Intis, it's a card that pops cards, cool. 1 Millennium Eyes for the instant fusion, 2 Herald, combo, and then 1 for your follow-up. 1 Beatrice, it's part of your combo. Downerd Zeus, that's like the main combo going second. That's like one of the best cards. It's probably the best card in the game at the moment. Zeus. 2 Moon Beta. This is the other card from Lightning Overdrive. This card's crazy. Love it. For the links,
so
Link 4s.
Hold on, before you move on to the links, how did you feel about not playing the Lyrilusk or the Mucho Fucho in your deck?
Oh, it just never came up.
Never came up. So there was never a time that you wanted the Lyrilusk?
No, never came up. Like I was like against Zoo, like I'd rather just make a Mu Beta and just like try to proc that effect instead of making the Lyrilusk, because what happens is like they'll just save their Solemns for when you make your Zeus, because they know that you're not playing a Zoo deck, so you're only playing 1 Zeus. So they'll let you summon the Lyrilusk, let you attack, summon your downer, then they'll just strike your Zeus. So I'd rather just summon a Mu Beta and then at least try to force an interaction on the Mu Beta, because it's just like a way more powerful card than Fucho or Lyrilusk. Like they're always saving their interactions for your Zeus because they know you're only playing 1.
And have you ever thought about playing the second copy of Zeus?
It's not enough room. Maybe if I had like 20 cards in the extra deck, I'd probably play like 3. But like, Yeah, there's no room. Like I really wanted to fit in Cerberus. That was a card that I actually missed instead of the second Herald, but I didn't have any room. Like if I like Cerberus is literally my 16th card in my extra deck. Like if I had one more slot, it would be Cerberus, and then if I had one more slot, it might be like the second Zeus. You know.
Oh yeah.
For the 2 Link 4s, one Appaloosa, one Borosword. Borosword is better than Access Code because it's game with ultimateness, where Access Code isn't game with ultimateness. One IP, you're always ending on that card. Phoenix, back removal. Expected a lot of Zoo, a lot of like control ish decks, tempo decks. So it's better than Cerberus. Because like if a Zoo player is any good, then they play around Cerberus by putting their Zoo monster or their Zeus in the EMZ. But a lot of people weren't doing that this weekend, so that's why I missed Cerberus. But technically, in a perfect world, Cerberus isn't that great because like they'll play around it. Phoenix is just like consistent all around. Unicorn card you're probably gonna be making with IP. Just spin a card and then Link Karibo for Nova. Good card. That's the deck.